Good morning, students and parents. Today we are going to review our packet for the week starting Monday, April 27th, all the way through Friday, May 1st. On Monday, we are going to be focusing on inferencing. And so the standard is to determine the meaning of words and phrases as they are used in a text, distinguishing literal from non-literal language. And remember, boys and girls, we did idioms in the classroom, which were literal and non-literal language. For example, when we said Miss Darcy is as quick as a fox. That doesn't mean that Miss Darcy is necessarily a fox, it just means that she's super fast. So if you look on page 2, you will have the figurative language text box. You're going to write 2 examples of figurative language that you found in the chapters of page 46 through 48 for the one and only Ivan. If you look at the bottom of that page, you also see that Ms. Darcy and I included a figurative language anchor chart.
Right, awesome. And then on Tuesday, class, we're going to be reviewing summarizing. So our standard is, by the end of the year, read and comprehend literature, including stories, dramas, and poetry, at high ends of grades 2-3, text, complexity, band, independently, and proficiently. That means independently. So at the bottom, there's going to be a read aloud section, and there's going to be chapters you're going to have to read independently. It is only about 5 pages. You will then complete a vocabulary chart for the word wistful, which we provided on the page before. Then you are going to make sure that you are able to explain the story of Jumbo. That's going to be a story that Stella tells Ivan in one of her nighttime stories before they go to bed. You're going to tell me what happens in the beginning of the story, the middle of the story, and then the end of the story. And that will be on page 4.
And Ms. Darcy, they are writing the summary about the story that Stella tells Ivan about Jumbo.
Yes, not about the story of the one and only Ivan, the story that Stella shares.
Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying. Okay, scholars, and then on Wednesday, April the 29th, we are going to be focusing on narrative writing. Your standard is going to be W3.3, write narratives to develop real or imagined experiences or events using effective technique, descriptive details, and clear event sequences. If you look on the bottom, in the bottom of the section, you're going to see a picture of the one and only Ivan. Now, I'm not sure if you remember from our previous lessons, but we talked about how the one and only Ivan is based on a realistic fiction. The one and only Ivan is actually a true story about this specific gorilla that did live at the Big Top Mall. And so if you click on the link or you type in the link, you are going to watch a video about the one and only Ivan. If you go flip over to page 6, Miss Darcy and I included you guys a writing narrative word map. So it gives you some transition words to use, words instead of the word said, some adverbs. Here's some of more of our figurative language, making sure that you use your 5 senses, give character feelings, your setting ideas, and any tension or conflict the characters may be having or experiencing. We also included 2 anchor charts, one that kind of helps you what a story, personal and fictional narrative is, and it's just going over sequence and dialogue, characters, setting, and your emotions. And then another anchor chart for personal narratives. You are also included the writing prompt on the top. How would you feel if you were living in a glass domain? which is the home or enclosure that Ivan lives in. And then you have this personal narrative graphic organizer to kind of help you organize your thoughts and your ideas. And the one good thing about this anchor chart, it helps you because it gives you clues as to what to write. And that's going to be on page 7. You also, for that day on page 8, also have a vocabulary chart that you have to, and you have the word linger and make amends.
Ms. Gonzalez, just to clarify, we give them the definition that they're supposed to write, correct?
Correct.
So all they have to do is fill in the illustration and the sentence.
Correct. And both of those vocabulary cards, linger is for the Wednesday date and make amends is for the Thursday date.
On Thursday, you're going to continue your narrative writing. So once you wrote your rough draft about if you were in a glass domain and couldn't leave it, you're going to establish a situation, introduce a narrator. That's the same standard as the day before. But you're going to use the narrative writing checklist. And we're very familiar with this checklist. It's what we use throughout the whole school year. And you're going to edit and revise your writing before completing a final draft. So in order to do that, we provide you the checklist. So I want you to go back to Wednesday's writing right here. And I want you to go through all of these and give yourselves either a, yes, I do have story structure, or I'm starting to, I really should maybe focus on story structure. Or the transitions. I told my story in order by using phrases such as a little later and after that. Does your story flow? Does it make sense? Yes, starting to, or not yet. So you're going to go through this whole checklist, and then you're going to revise your writing and write a paragraph of a final draft.
Okay, scholars, and then that brings us to our last day, Friday. We are going to be focusing on history. We're going to use information gained from illustrations and the words in a text to demonstrate understanding of the text. And it's also a social studies standard. And so we are going to be focusing on Harriet Tubman and why she's a national hero. So you're going to read the article, and then you're going to create you're going to complete a graphic organizer. There is also a brain pop link. Miss Darcy and I will be recording that with us when we do our lesson for Friday. But if you have a chance, go to that brain pop link, and it's going to give you a little bit more information about what the Underground Railroad was. We've also included a map. You go to page 12. You are going to find a News ELA article about the civil rights activist Harriet Tubman. It's about a page and a half. Starts on page 12, ends on page 13. And then on the last page, the back of that week packet is page 14. You are then going to complete this graphic organizer. You are going to tell me when Miss Harriet Tubman was born, when did she die, 3 facts about Harriet Tubman that you learned from reading the text, and then you're going to write your own opinion or your own idea of why Harriet Tubman was an important person and how can you tell. And you got to make sure that you use evidence from your text.
All right, class, so that is what we have coming up for the next week of our learning. Make sure you check in every day to watch our daily objective videos so that you know what you are doing throughout every day of the week. Bye, you guys.
Bye, guys.